Hi, welcome back to Talk of the Town. Diane McMahon of DM Designs introduces her services here on Hilton Head Island to provide consulting services to people who want to leave a written legacy of their life. Diane, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's really fun to be here.
Certainly. And so tell us a little bit about, do you have to be famous or led a really interesting or unusual life to write a memoir?
Well, since I am offering services to everyday people, the answer is definitely no. What I've realized and how I got involved in this is everybody has a story. DM Designs I was an interior designer in the 80s and 90s, and I realized that's sort of a service where you are an on-call therapist. People doing their homes were just really became friends and open, and there were stories. And at that point, I went and talked to my grandmother, who was in her 90s, and we did, every day at 5 o'clock over cocktails, we would do a recorded session about her life. And I began to really kind of put together the fact that people want to be known, they want to be recognized, and they have stories.
Yeah.
Lots of people don't know how to tell them or don't even think that they have something interesting. When I came to Hilton Head, I worked for Pink Magazine, and I've probably done close to 200 interviews with women in the area. Inevitably, they would say, my life's not that interesting, and I would sit down, and everyone's life was interesting. They had something to share. So I am here to encourage people that whether you realize it or not, you're like a snowflake or a thumbprint. Everybody is singular and individual and unique, and to leave that as a legacy for people to know is great.
So do you feel that they have to be a good writer to
think
write that memoir?
That's a really interesting question, and not everybody is interested in writing a memoir.
Yeah.
I think that what I am able to do with people is ask questions that gets them to sort of explore, number one, what is it that they want to say and to whom do they want to say it?
Okay.
Basically the difference between a journal or a historical sort of
or
background
a diary.
or a diary is that in a memoir you literally have asked yourself a question and you want to tell it to somebody. When I wrote my memoir, my son's not married yet, I don't have grandchildren, but I realized I was writing it to a future granddaughter, whether I was there or not. So I think the writing part, people can be helped, that's what I can help them do. I think you've got to be curious about something in your life and have a fairly burning desire to want to tell it to somebody.
Yeah, and share that legacy almost.
Share that legacy.
Yeah.
And a lot of people also say, it's not really an autobiography. Isaac Bashevis Singer, who's a wonderful writer, said, for almost everybody in the world, to tell the story of your life from your birth till your death is boring and nobody would believe it anyway. But what you're trying to do in memoir is look back and see certain events or certain people who fashioned and framed what you were, who you are, and what you're doing, and you want to say how that felt and impart some of that wisdom to somebody else.
So your services, what could you actually do to provide someone who is considering writing a memoir? You know, what part do you take?
What I take is, first of all, I sit down and have a private interview, almost like when I was doing columns with people, and get them to start framing in their mind, what is the question that I'm trying to answer and to whom am I trying to speak? So for example, I can do a 10-page personal essay about a particular event. A lot of men want to talk about their war experience and how that fashioned. I've done that with my dad. There are people who there was a singular event in their childhood and as they've gotten older. So I help them frame what is it that I want to say, and then we start working on how long. What kind of voice can we help you develop that is particularly unique to you? So I'm sort of a coach and a consultant to help them fashion what feels like this big thing, which is their life, into a interesting and textured story that tells the message that they're trying to tell.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
It was great to be here.
And we thank you so much for joining us on today's Talk of the Town.